Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Ride Option Podcast. Jason Aponte, we're going to talk about a playoff game today, and I'm very heckin' excited. I'm so excited I didn't even come up with a creative open to this episode. This is the Sprint Ride Option Podcast. I'm Andrew Pasquini with Jason Aponte. And as we said at the top, we're going to talk about a playoff game today. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, absolutely. A playoff game on Nickelodeon also.
That's the important. That's something I've been trying to will to happen all season, and I'm happy it's happening. I think we really need to talk about the importance of making sure to vote Jimmy Garoppolo for MVP. That is the thing I need to continue the legacy of elite quarterbacks winning it. I mean, when you can be mentioned with a name like Mitch Trubisky, I think that's a list you want to be on.
Mitchell, sir.
Mitchell, sorry, my bad. Mitchell Trubisky, Bears legend. I saw a headline. I saw an article that came out opening about the Bears about how people need to apologize to Mitch Trubisky for seeing what Nagy did to Fields. But hey, we're not here to talk about the Bears. We're here to talk about the San Francisco 49ers against the Dallas Cowboys. And it's pretty cool, Jason. You know, I'm a little younger than you. That's okay. We've known that. That's okay. This is the first time I am getting to experience a Niners Cowboy playoff game. It hasn't happened since '95. I was two years old when that happened, so I don't remember it. So I'm very excited about my first real taste of Niners Cowboys in the playoffs.
Yeah, unfortunately, you stated it in a way where you were being nice, but yes, I am older, and I do remember this very, very clearly. Hence the reason that I'm wearing the Deion Sanders jersey from the year that the last time the 49ers actually won a Super Bowl, which was January of 95. But it's good that the newer 49er fans are getting exposed to this now, right? Like, and they're starting to get their feel for it. Many people dislike the Cowboys just because of, worldwide, how people feel about them. Like, as a Yankee fan, I understand that everyone wants to see the Yankees. Same deal with the Cowboys. But as of right now, you guys have never really had the whole, well, us or them, they're going to make the playoffs, we're going to make the playoffs type deal. And now, the Super Bowl. So now it's front and center. And the NFL couldn't be happier either. I mean, the 1985 NFC Championship game is still the fifth highest watched NFC Championship game in NFL history. And that is insane when you consider HD TVs, how many more TVs, how many different ways that people watch. So, yeah, the NFL got exactly what they wanted. And this week has been a little bit tough for me. Trying to be objective, to be level-headed, but just wanted to talk trash the entire time. Just because those are the feelings that are brought back up because I remember it fondly.
Yeah, my knowledge of the Niners Cowboy rivalry is pretty much thank you, Jay Spence. We appreciate you stopping by. Is what my dad told me, right? Like I know the stories, I know all that. Like we said it last year with the Cowboy game because we didn't get to preview a Cowboy game last year. A little different. I think Mullins was starting and Beathard ended up coming in. This is my first real experience of what it is. And I mean, you see the title of this podcast. It's a Sprint Ride Option Podcast. That's obviously for those of you who don't know, and if you don't know, that's okay. The Sprint Ride Option is the play the Niners called 40 years ago this week to beat the Cowboys and start the dynasty that was the 80s Niners. And so to me, when I think Niners Cowboys, I do think of kind of what started the catch game is why you have a Deion Sanders Niners jersey, right? Like that dynasty was set up by the catch because they beat the Cowboys. Like if the catch happens against the Saints or any other team in the 80s, whatever you want to say, I just picked the Saints. I know the Saints sucked back then. It to me, it's just another play in playoff history that kind of gets lost in the shuffle of it all. But this was an upstart Niners team who hadn't really been there against America's team. And what's the famous quote? Too Tall Jones went up to Joe Montana and said, "Congratulations, you beat America's team." And Joe Montana responded with, "Marketing Pro's back. Hi, Marketing Pro.
Hey, buddy.
And
we
hey,
missed
buddy.
you. What happened? What
Where were you
to the
Monday?
Rams? Yeah, what happened,
good luck,
bro?
Good luck against the Cardinals, though. I do wish that. Then Joe Montana responding with, you'll get to watch the Super Bowl with the rest of America. And I think this is a good place to start. I think this is actually a really good question. Neil, thank you for the donation. What's good,
hold on. Debo made All-Pro also, Marketing Pro.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to keep stacking L's, let's do it.
Neil's got the question to start with. Scale of 1 to 10. I'll start with you, Jason, because I think this rivalry does. Because to me, the Niners Seahawks are probably what the Niners Cowboys are to you. How nervous are you this week?
Right now, I'm 0 because the game isn't until Sunday. But Sunday, my nerves are going to go through the roof because it's a playoff game. No matter who it's against, it's a playoff game. But There is something to the idea that the season can't end against the Dallas Cowboys. So, Marketing Pro.
We love you.
Kyle Shanahan is Sean McVay's dad. Your stadium was filled with 49ers fans. Matthew Stafford's wife was crying all over her podcast about they had to use a silent count. That's not fair.
Are we Sprint Red Option Podcast now advertising Marketing Pro's YouTube channel? We love him. We love Marketing Pro. We love Don Burr, legends. Marketing Pro's new. We can't call him a legend yet. For me, I'm probably about the same, Jason. I'm at 0 right now. The joke I've made all week is the reason I'm watching the game on Nickelodeon is no matter what, it's a win-win, right? I get to have fun if the Niners are winning, but if I lose, I get the slime cannons and have fun with it. I think on Sunday that nervous rating is going to be at about a 15. Like you don't want the season to end, obviously, but you really don't want it to end against the Dallas Cowboys.
No, anybody but them.
Literally anybody.
Literally.
But I'm super excited that as you said, this is the new version of this rivalry. This is the first time that people from my generation are getting to see this rivalry happen in the playoffs. And not only happen on the playoffs, but happen on Nickelodeon, which is just so weird to me. Like last year, it was kind of a throwaway game. It was the Saints and Bears. Everybody knew the Saints were going to go in and beat the Bears. Because I think when the Niners, the game got first announced, I think the thought in our group chat was this is perfect for the Monday night game. This is the perfect place for the Monday night game. Nope, the NFL just said, nah, this is the Nickelodeon CBS game, and you're going to love it. And here we are. So, do we want to dive into the actual preview, or do we do? I can talk Niners Cowboys historical facts all day.
No, I mean it's been talked about all week. Terrell almost dancing on the star. The Dallas Cowboys tweeting, "Don't let them come into your stadium like that." And it's weird because my father, who gave me the game of the 49ers, right? He fell off on football. And he texted me after the 49ers came back against the Rams. Last shot at Marketing Pro, sorry. He said, man, Niners Dallas. He was like, let's go, man. Like my father, let's go. And I would love to watch it with him, but unfortunately, I'm just watching the game alone by myself silently, and then afterwards we'll have to do the post game. But this is special and it's fun. Been having a lot of fun on Twitter with people, and you think about the game that Colin Kaepernick started in 2014, and it was all red, and that was like the last time the rivalry had a game there that had juice, because we don't count last year's game. It was so bad. And remember, like the last play of the game was that Hail Mary to Kendrick Bourne. So it's been a long time for this rivalry, and there's a lot of things to talk about, because now the younger Cowboys players, and obviously the younger 49ers players, they don't really remember. Like Kyle Shanahan talked about it because he was around the team at that time. Mike Shanahan was the offensive coordinator for that team. But he, Michael Parsons is talking now, and now it's starting to juice up a little bit. So they're starting to get the significance of it. And for the NFL to put in that 4:30 Sunday slot and have Nance and Romo do it, is this is the game. Like, this is the real highlight circle game. Monday Night Football will be Louis Riddick and Brian Greasy and Godspeed, because we have to watch that game and listen to those guys. But
who is the Monday night game?
Rams Cardinals.
Rams Cardinals. Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's clear that the NFL wanted this game for the prime slot of 4:30 with Nance, with Romo, and I can't wait, man. This is we can get into the preview, but the nostalgia is taking over this week, and it's so fun to have this back.
Yeah, no, it's definitely exciting. I think I saw that. What was the number? 17% of the tickets sold on whatever website was from the Bay Area. That number doesn't even account the 49er fans that exist in the Dallas area. We know one that's going to the game. This feels like it could be a home game on the road. It's going to be fun, man. I'm so excited for my first real taste of Niners Cowboys in the postseason. And I think that poor segue. I think the Niners are too, Jason. And we're here to talk about the Niners Cowboys, the 6 versus the 3 seed game in the NFC. The Dallas Cowboys 12-5, high powered offense. Defense is solid to say the least. I don't know, Jason. To me, I guess we'll start. I think the easy place to start, the lazy place to start, is the quarterback position, because obviously there's 2 different types of quarterbacks going at each other. Dak Prescott against Jimmy Garoppolo. Will Garoppolo be 100%? Will he not be? Things like that. How is he going to play? So what do you expect out of Garoppolo? What do you expect out of Prescott? I think that's a place to start.
It all depends on what happens up front. What the Cowboys offer up front is going to be, wouldn't bet on that, because we can pull up what your prediction was for the other game as well, too, buddy. It's been a rough week for you, man. But the thing is, right, Micah Parsons lines up on the right side exclusively of the offense, left side of the defense. So, Tom Compton, you're up, buddy. This is it. Trent Williams is back. So, Gregory, Lawrence, you're getting thrown in jail. But the Micah Parsons thing, that's the part that you got to be worried about. Because Tom Compton's been great. No, not disputing that. This is just stiffest challenge. So it's going to be all about how the 49ers control the clock, run the ball, which they can against the 18th ranked defense. But this really boils down to something else that a lot of people, well, I'm not saying that nobody's talking about it. I think a lot of people are. Kyle Shanahan versus Dan Quinn.
What is Dan Quinn? That's where I was getting to, yeah.
Yeah. So what does Dan Quinn know about Kyle Shanahan? What does Kyle Shanahan know about Dan Quinn? You point to 2019, the last time that they faced off. Julio Jones was there, and the team and went down to the wire. And our good buddy Rich Madrid posted a bunch of clips where it's on his timeline of cut-ups of the Falcons stacking the box, the 49ers still running the ball the way that they can, because stack boxes don't matter if they are executing properly with their angles, cutback lanes. If you're over pursuing, that's why those tosses are happening. If you notice, what really unlocked the game against the Rams was they started they started calling toss plays on runs that were inside. So the idea is when you toss it, it looks like outside zone, but it's really an inside zone. So it's just giving you another look to key in on. And that's what they started gashing the Rams with over and over and over. So the problem is that when you start to do that and you start to show the outside zone, now guys are over pursuing, and now you have the cutback lane. Now, if you don't pursue hard enough, then they can go outside with it. So it's just small little things that Mike McDaniel and Kyle Shanahan have been cooking up. And those clips from the Falcons game have Mostert having very good runs, and 49ers are still going to be able to do whatever they want to do. The 49ers can still impose their will offensively. The Cowboys lend themselves a little bit more to the Rams style, which is they'll get pushed around a little bit, and they can get pushed around. So the 49ers, it really just boils down to what's going to happen with the quarterbacks in terms of what happens with the run game. And if the 49ers are able to contain Dallas's run game, then I know this isn't something that sounds smart, like put it all on Dak Prescott. But if you turn them one-dimensional, then you've got a better shot. So I think the Cowboys have lost the last 5 times that they haven't had 100 yards rushing, and the 49ers haven't allowed 100 yards rushing in the last 6 games. So something's got to give here. So it all boils down to complementary football and how those guys are going to play and game flow. So if the 49ers are able to run the ball and Jimmy Garoppolo is just asked to, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6, make throws, or 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, make throws and get first downs, it'll be fine. I think that the recipe for success is 40 runs, not 40 pass attempts, but that's not rocket science, and that's not something that you guys didn't already know. So
it's a very good stat, Jason. I didn't even know that. The under 100 rushing yards thing, and you're absolutely right. The Cowboys finished 1-5 this season when they rushed for less than 100 yards. The win coming against the Vikings in week 8. They lost to the Buccaneers, the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Cardinals when they rushed for less than 100 yards. That's a good stat. But I think on the other side of it, too, you mentioned the Niners' run game. I think the very important thing with it is it keeps the Cowboys off the field if they're running the ball well. The Cowboys offense, it's very good. It has all the weapons in the world. They have 3 separate receivers with 100 targets, 3 separate receivers with 65 plus catches, 3 receivers with 800 plus yards. I mean, that's insane. And one of them's a tight end, Dalton Schultz. I'm calling him a receiver here because that's what he's doing. If the Niners can keep the ball in the offense's hands, this is obvious stuff. The Cowboys offense won't be on the field, and it won't give them those chances to get those big plays. And this is such an interesting matchup. Just looking at the secondaries, right? The Cowboys offense it's really good at big plays. They have a lot of big play weapons. They're going to get those big plays. And the Niners cornerbacks, we're probably going in with Emmanuel Mosley and Ambry Thomas again. Mosley's been good. Thomas has been better every week since, the middle of the season. That safety position, and it feels so good to know Jaquiski Tartt's likely playing, at least judging by his tweet. I haven't seen an injury report today yet, so if that's changed, let me know. But the Niners' safety's abilities to prevent the big plays, I think that's going to be humongous for this defense. And the matchup you mentioned, the one that a lot of people are talking about, but one that I don't think is one of those like everybody's talking about, is Dan Quinn versus Kyle Shanahan. What's Shanahan going to be able to do? The Niners definitely struggled against. I mean, that was the worst loss of the 2019 season, right? That Falcons game, pretty let down, very big loss. It ended up being not a big loss. It could have,
but it was off of the Saints game.
But it was off of the Saints game, so it definitely a letdown loss. So I'm very interested to see what Shanahan has in store for Dan Quinn, because those are things they're aware of, right? He knows Dan Quinn knows him. Dan Quinn knows Kyle Shanahan knows him. So it's going to be interesting to see what Shanahan does. Another thing that I've seen a lot of people talk about, but just something I think is interesting to talk about because we kind of talked about it with the Rams last week. The Cowboys haven't beaten anybody this season. You look at their wins, okay? They got the Chargers, the Eagles, the Panthers, the Giants, the Patriots. So 2 playoff teams. The Eagles are a playoff team, 7 seed they're in. The Vikings, the Falcons, the Saints, the Washington football team, the Giants, the Washington football team, and then the Eagles again. So 3 of their 12 wins have come against playoff teams. A lot of their losses have been against good teams. Look at their losses. There's 4 playoff teams in these losses. So it's going to be interesting to see how much that actually means, because everything is, as Jason Aponte says, a week-to-week thing. So I'm excited to see what this game is going to be and see kind of the game within the game with the coaching staffs and all that stuff. I see Bowser saying, clean your room. I'm in the middle of a move right now, so that's why it's so messy. So just ignore all that. That's not there for those of you wondering. But yeah, I think this is going to be a really interesting chess match game to see what the Cowboys come out with, what the Niners come out with, and then how they adjust from there. I think this is going to be a really interesting game for that, because I could see this, like, it's such a weird game because I could see this being a blowout either way, but I could see this being a close game either way. Like, this is such an interesting game to me.
Dallas Cowboys 6-0 against the NFC East. Dallas Cowboys 6-5 against everybody else. They've played many opponents that the 49ers have. Both beat the Vikings. Both beat the Falcons. Lost to the Raiders. Lost to the Chiefs. They've beaten 2 playoff teams, but a lot of their record is because they were gifted 3 wins against a horrible division. The New York Giants are terrible. The Philadelphia Eagles, the 49ers beat them with one of their worst offensive outputs as well in week 2. The Washington football team was more concerned with being physical with each other than they were with the Cowboys on the sideline. They had guys punching their own players on the sideline. So 6 of your wins, you took care of business. Good for you. But when the tough gets going, right? That's the thing is you don't always want to point to, well, they haven't really beaten anybody, but they really haven't. The Chargers were, that's a fine win. They have a winning record, but just look at how they didn't make the playoffs. That was so Chargery. It's just who they are. Losing to the Raiders at home, the Denver Broncos at home. Shout out to Vic Fangio because he may have left some breadcrumbs on how to confuse Dak Prescott a little bit. But that's the thing is, NFC West has 3 teams with 10 wins and in the playoffs. So, let me just pull this up real quick. Wasn't everybody predicting Washington football team to beat us when they were 6-6? Nobody with a brain would have or should have.
I see K High in there. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm assuming you're a Cowboy fan. He made the point up top. Hey, didn't the 49ers lose to the Seahawks? Right? Yeah, the Niners have their fair share of bad losses too.
That was in 2019.
Well, I mean, is he referring to 2019 or is he referring?
No, because when we were talking about the Falcons, he said, "Oh, dang, y'all lost to the Falcons." No, the 49ers smoked the Falcons' boots.
Yeah, this year the Niners beat the Falcons, but even
Dan Quinn wasn't the coach. Dan Quinn wasn't the coach. We were talking about when Dan Quinn was there in 2019.
Yes, they beat the Falcons this year, but to his point on the Niners lost to the Seahawks both games this year, Niners have their fair share of bad losses. I totally understand that. Don Burr, how you doing? Good to see him in the playoffs. And I get that, but the Niners have also had, they have 2 wins against the Rams. They've had these tough wins, and they've had bad losses. It's something that affects both teams. Like, this isn't just a Cowboys specific thing. The Niners have also had bad losses. So, like, I get what you're saying, K High, 001, but Niners have their fair share of losses too. I totally get that.
Losses too.
Yeah, but hey, this is a Niners podcast. We spin things positively for the Niners. So I totally understand what you're saying, K High. Definitely appreciate that point. But hey, we got to spin it positively for the Niners, right?
Yeah. Another thing too is right now, because there's a lot of talk about everybody's already making all their picks. It's Friday. The news cycle has gone through. Tomorrow there really won't be much. It's Kai. Okay.
Kai,
the news cycle. Oh man. Are we bringing this up on here, bro?
Oh man.
All right, I'll explain that in a minute, but let me get to my thought real quick. So
we'll get through the whole preview and then we'll touch on that.
The news cycle kind of went through, already. So everybody's making their picks. And look, there's plenty of people that are saying the Dallas Cowboys are going to win. The 49ers can't keep up with their offense. There's plenty of people that are saying the 49ers are a physical style that the Cowboys don't have. So, there's different ways to look at it. But the positive way to look at it for the 49ers is this is the healthiest that they've been all season on both sides of the ball. Mm-hmm. They should be starting every single player this week on defense and on offense. And that's incredible. Azeez Al-Shaair, Tart, Ward, Mosley, Thomas, defensive line attack, Trent Williams back. 49ers beat the Rams without Trent Williams. Another shot at marketing pro, my bad. And that's the thing is now they're rounding into shape. When you're able to run the ball, that's the type of stuff that travels. Doesn't matter, opponents and things like that. When you're able to control the clock, control tempo, that's when you start to put teams in a bad spot. So right now, 49er fans should be excited at the fact that this team is as healthy as it's been all year, realistically, on both sides of the ball. And they're playing their best football. So that's why there's a lot of chatter around this being the team that you don't want to play. Ask Michael Irvin. Every radio hit he's done, that man is shook. And he said, anybody but the 49ers, please, anybody but them. So it's just a good spot to be in for the 49ers. And those teams that get healthy at the right time, playing their best football, those end up being the teams that make longer runs. But one game at a time, right in here in this one, the 49ers just have a good way to control the game, control tempo, and impose their will. And if they're able to play their style of football without turning the ball over, they're very hard to beat with any team. And that sounds cliche and stupid because that's what everybody should be saying. Like, don't turn the ball over,
But it's so true with this Niners team. Like, I kind of like, I hate because I've done a couple radio hits talking about the Niners this season, and I sound so dumb and basic when it's talking about the Niners. Well, it's really going to come down to the Niners running the ball well and not turning the ball over. And it's just like, it sounds so generic, but it's kind of what the Niners have been. The run game is so important to them because it makes the game a little easier for Garoppolo, which is kind of the goal of this, because if the game's easier for Garoppolo, he's not turning the ball over. And if the Niners aren't turning the ball, like the big thing is like, I need to go back and look at Jimmy Garoppolo's stats because we talk about quarterback wins and all that fun stuff. I'm genuinely curious to see what his record is in games where he turns, and I'm sure this is something I can find real easily, games he turns the ball over and games he doesn't, because it really feels like it felt, I think a large part of why when the Niners were down 17-0 in the first half last week, a large part of why that game kind of felt over, I'm not going to use that word, is because it came off of Jimmy Garoppolo had a couple turnovers and it didn't feel good. And I think that's what kind of made this win so much more impressive is when he's turning the ball over, it kind of feels like the Niners aren't working, but when he doesn't, Niners feel unbeatable almost. So it's kind of an interesting game. Because like if you look at it on paper, if you just look at these two teams' rosters, you would probably say the Cowboys are better, right? Because the Cowboys have big names. It's close, but I think when it comes down to it, you look at the quarterback and you see who it is versus who it is. You're probably leaning the Cowboys. Let's be honest.
Well, only because of quarterback, right? Like the most important position.
Yes, it is the most important position, but I think these two rosters are close. But I think what reason I would take the Cowboys roster is because of you get Dak and not Garoppolo. But then you take into the account kind of what the Niners are and what the Cowboys are and kind of where they've been this season. As you said, half of the Cowboys' wins have come against the Washington football team, the New York Giants, and the Philadelphia Eagles. If the Cowboys took care of the business in the NFC East, they're making the playoffs. The Niners, I'm not saying the Cowboys didn't earn it, because the Cowboys absolutely earned it. Every team in the playoffs earned it, but it kind of feels like the Niners earned this. They play in a tougher division. They've had some tough matchups. There's a few games that could have gone either way, win and loss. So I've said it about 14 times. This is what's your word that you key on that you say now? For me, it's interesting. This game is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, and styles make fights, and that's going to be the chess match, right? And I think it comes down to the roster has bigger names. One roster is a little bit deeper when you look at all positions and coaching. Like, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is the game that Mike McCarthy finally makes a mistake that cost his team really big, because he's been trying to do it for like 6 weeks this season, where he's been trying to put the Cowboys in a bad spot. And he'll do it this time. And 49er fans, we know Mike McCarthy very well as a Packers head coach. And they've beaten him and teams led by him. So we're going to find out about coaching. Right now, Kyle Shanahan's in his own. Even when they were down 17-0, he found ways to get them back in the game by running the ball. And in an 88-yard, gotta have it, he's throwing it. Jalen Ramsey was getting cooked by Deebo Samuel. And Jimmy Garoppolo's throwing darts past Jalen Ramsey to aim up. They folded because he, 3 runs. Oh, our defense got it. Coward. But in terms of coaching, that's what it is, right? Like Kyle Shanahan was able to keep his team in the game, and he never got away from the run game. And again, physical overtime, over the game. If you continue to be physical, it's hard to keep that going, right? And teams that aren't built like that will eventually succumb to that. So I feel like the defenses, they kind of lend themselves to both style. They're a little bit more finesse. They have edge rushers. Again, the Rams have big names and the Dallas Cowboys have big names. But that, what's it called? Stars and scrubs type thing. It's like, Kyle Shanahan's going to pick on those other guys. Like, there's no way you're going into this game like, we're throwing at Trevon Diggs. There's no way in this game where, like, we're going to drop back 40 times and let Micah Parsons and Tom Compton go at it. Yeah. So it's about neutralizing those guys. And how do you do that? And Kyle Shanahan's a master at that.
I like official BNA Music 88's comment. McCarthy is the Cowboys' Jimmy Garoppolo. One of them will decide the game. I haven't thought about that, but I think that's a very interesting point, actually, because I think that's the coaching matchup. I think a lot of people have been it's been so obviously out there that people are missing it because they want to talk about the Dan Quinn, Kyle Shanahan thing. Both were with the Falcons in the Super Bowl, things like that. But when it comes down to it, the head coach matchup, I think that is the biggest mismatch on the field. Oh, not on the field. I guess that's technically not on the field, but you know what I mean. In this game, Micah Parsons versus Tom Compton feels like a big mismatch. But I think if you have faith in one head coach, and if you had to pick one of these head coaches to win a playoff game for you, you're taking Kyle Shanahan 10 out of 10 times. His ability to adapt, not only his ability to adapt, but his ability to not change and keep his head, because like the Niners are down 17-3 going into the half last week, and Shanahan never wavered from what he was trying to do. His offense came out patient. He knew where he was. And I know people don't like Kyle for his lack of change, his the way he runs things, but I think that's one of his strong suits. Is he never panics. He never panics. He doesn't care what the score is. So I really do think I like that comparison of Mike McCarthy is the Cowboys' Jimmy Garoppolo. If he messes up, it's going to be tough on them. And I think it's more likely that Mike McCarthy makes a game-changing mistake than Jimmy Garoppolo does. And that's no shade on McCarthy. That's just what it is. Like, yes, Garoppolo makes bad throws. Yes, he turns it over, but he also has games where he doesn't turn the ball over. And if Garoppolo does that, the pressure is going to be on McCarthy and go out there and be perfect and make sure his weapons work. Because if the Niners, let's say the Niners jump out to a 13-0 lead, 14-0 lead, pressure is going to be on McCarthy to make things happen. And is he going to be able to do it? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. There's that word again, interesting thing.
Well, Kellen Moore's the one who calls the plays, but McCarthy's time management and his decision-making, right? Like his decision-making is what we're talking about is going to catch up to him. Like not going for it on fourth or going for it when he shouldn't go for it or not calling the correct timeout, something is going to happen. And that's just not even me like trying to be overly optimistic or trying to be on the side of, the 49ers. But, McCarthy's done that. That's what he does. He largely skated by on the fact that Aaron Rodgers was his quarterback, and he only won one Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. And the difference is that you see what happens with LaFleur. LaFleur's got 3 straight years of 13 wins. That's not a coincidence. That's not a coincidence. Mm-hmm. So Mike McCarthy, he comes over to Dallas. He gets the job. He tells them, I signed up for PFF Elite. I'm ready to be, I'm ready to do analytics. And they were like, oh man, Jerry was blown away when he found out that he had that PFF Elite subscription.
Honestly, Jerry Jones probably didn't know what PFF was before he said that. He Googled, he's like, wow, this is a lot of numbers. Impressive.
Yeah. He was like, I'm ready to embrace analytics. I spent the day scrolling through PFF and I signed up for PFF Elite. And Jerry Jones was like, hire this man. I'm just joking. But yeah. All right. Actual football analysis. So something that I saw the Denver Broncos do, Vic Fangio, big fan of his over here. Obviously not the head coach anymore.
Over there.
Yeah, what the hell is he running? So, so what they did was run a lot of stuff with robbers, meaning safeties show too high. One safety drops in as the robber, and then they go single high to confuse. But they ran it out of their dime personnel because they have a great secondary, right? So they ran man match. That's not something the 49ers can do, but they can do it out of zone. And they did it on the first third down of the game against the Rams, where Tart moved. It showed the 2. Tart moved, and what happens is Greenlaw was playing the inside slot. He carries it to Tart, and if the route continues that way, then Tart takes it, and now Greenlaw is in the middle, and it's a way to confuse. So it gave them fits. Obviously, they have a great pass rush as well, too. But those are some of the things that DeMeco Ryans is going to have to slide in there and mix in at the right times, dial up the pressure at the right time, confuse with the coverages, show the robber, not show it. It's going to be really good for him because it's going to be really tough for him because he has to figure out the perfect balance. And I think that earlier in the game against the Rams, he was trying to figure it out. And when he did figure it out, calling up timely blitzes, making sure that the right coverages were there, confusing Matthew Stafford, making him throw, interceptions, like where he sees it, he thinks he sees it. And, Mosley intercepted it, but Tart would have had it as well, too. So there's there's a lot of things that go into how to slow a team down, and it is a copycat league. So for a lot of the things that you see, people are going back. I'm sure this coaching staff went back and they watched not just that Denver game, many games that the Cowboys have played, and they're going to pick and choose some of the things and the situations that some of these things work. So it's really going to be up to DeMeco Ryans and Kyle Shanahan to neutralize, matchups by being smart and trying to dial up the correct plays at the right time.
I'm getting super excited for this game right now. I really am. The comments are so fun. Seeing people go back and forth. Like we got an argument about the Niners Cowboys. We got Rams fans yelling at Lions fans. Hey, this is fun. This is very exciting. And I'm curious to see what DeMeco Ryans does. I think that's going to be the fun because I don't know if there's numbers out there. But it definitely feels like DeMeco Ryans changes the looks up more than Robert Saleh did. I don't know if I can prove that. That's just a feel thing. So don't go telling people that DeMeco Ryans changes things up more than Saleh. But the Niners defense feels like it's different this year. And so I'm definitely very interested to see how the Niners defense is going to adjust against this high-power Cowboys offense. Because you saw
Cap.
I picked the Rams. Hi.
Cap.
I am Aponte.
Cap. I picked the Rams on every. I picked the Niners on every single podcast, bro. And I told you that the Rams were soft and would fold. Stop playing.
I picked the Rams though. Thank you. And I was wrong.
Cap.
I was very wrong.
Stop capping. There's plenty of things that I get wrong. You could point out anything that you want, but I ain't get that wrong. What's up, Neil?
Neil, experience will be key as well. Yeah, I mean, there's this is gonna be a fun game. I'm excited, Jason. I know you're excited. I know a lot of people are excited. Do you have any final thoughts? Anything you want to say? We can get into the predictions now. Where do you want to go from here?
No, just I love the trash talk. I love it. Like I said, I try to be, level-headed, all that stuff, and unfortunately, I can't do it this week. I can't. It's great. Yeah. But Dick Tracy, just shut up already, bro. You're just making a fool of yourself. Yeah, that's it, man. Just be quiet, dude. Oh my God, bro. You're embarrassing yourself. First I picked the Rams, now this and this. Be quiet, bro. But yeah, let's go to predictions.
Let's go to predictions. I'm not picking the Niners this week. I can't.
How can you? I'll kick your ass out.
I'll be off this. This will be the Sprint Right Option podcast with Jason Aponte. If I pick, I'm going to go Niners. I think this is going to be a shootout. I think something about this game. It feels like it's going to be a shootout. The Niners are going to have to go blow for blow with this offense. Hopefully the defense can contain them here and there. But I do think this is a big game for both offenses. I am going to go 33-30 49ers.
All right, we're good, bro. Hey, man, it was Grant's birthday yesterday, man. Damn.
Happy birthday, 33-30 Niners.
Yeah, I got it 31-24 but Niners. But the defense will play well enough, but they're going to need a little bit more from Jimmy Garoppolo. It's not going to be just run. You can't do it like that. I don't think you're going to be able to get away with that this week. So it's the playoffs. It's time to make some big boy throws. I think someone else pointed out here. I think it was the Cowboys fan. Jimmy's not going to get away with 8 passes in this game, and
that's true.
I agree 100%. He's definitely going to have to throw the ball.
Hey, the Howard 11, don't go at Don Burr like that, please. I see you. Don Burr is in every Niner show. LMAO, he's obsessed. He's also a Sprint Right Option podcast legend, and he's invited here whenever he wants. This is not going to be a game where Jimmy Garoppolo is going to throw the ball 8 times. This is going to be a game where I think they're going to need to expect more out of him. Obviously, we're picking a game that I feel like that 8 pass game sticks in Niners fans' heads too much. I think that was the exception to the rule. I don't think that is the rule. So I'm super excited. I've said it a lot. This game is going to be fun. I'm excited. Hopefully the Niners come out on top. Nick, I wish it was that simple. If the Niners can beat the Rams, they can beat the Cowboys. I wish it was that simple. I really do. But God, it's cool that I'm finally getting to experience. Jason's going back to this. We'll touch on this real quick.
Yeah. So, all right, real quick, you know, and we'll keep it light or whatever because it was pretty funny. So, the comment here says, and I'm gonna butcher the name, Shatchi79, gonna bully the Cowboys like Cody Thompson was bullied, LMAO. So, it was 2 nights ago, right? I think, or it was 2 nights ago.
Tuesday.
Yeah. So Tuesday, our group chat lights up with a tweet from DJ Reed, and you know, 49ers legend DJ Reed. And DJ Reed has a hype video which starts with Grant asking our buddy Leo Luna, our friend Leo, and he says, "Are the 49ers gonna miss DJ Reed?" And it's an old clip from like 2 years ago when DJ Reed was cut. And he's like, no, he was like, they're definitely not. And he was like, and if they want to line him up at nickel, good for the 49ers offense. And like basically DJ Reed was trying to dunk on, you know, the homie, right? You know, which is cool, right? Like think about this.
I've always wanted to be a part of one of those videos.
Right.
Like I said something dumb and like they mentioned it. I want it.
Right. So look, we all took it as like laughing, right? Like we all hit up Leo and we was like, damn, you getting cooked, my boy. Like you getting cooked. But all right. So, you know, it's cool, right? Because NFL players need to have some sort of motivation at times, right? And that's the thing, right? Like you should draw it from everywhere. And when somebody says something bad about you, yeah, man, throw it back in their face. I definitely am the proponent of dunking on people for sure. I love that. And he took it and he posted it and it was cool. I thought Leo reacted very well to it.
Yeah.
You know, Leo even went and said, hey, you got me. Great for you. Happy for you, but bro, like, you know, cool. All right. So this person that we're talking about here, Cody Thompson, he retweets it, quote retweets it, and he says that cornball doesn't know shit. And see, here's the thing. Yeah, we can curse on this podcast. Here's the thing.
You were quoting. It's okay.
Right. And here's the thing. What Leo said was not personal in any way, right? Like he wasn't personal with DJ Reed. So he decided to get personal with Leo, and Leo wasn't even talking about him. So I see that he's wearing a helmet. I have to Google this man. I Google him. I found out this man has 0 career catches in the NFL. So I quote tweet him and I said, bro, this tweet got more likes than you catches in your career. And the tweets went from open comments to he took the comments away, then he deleted it. Like, bro, stop. You don't get to talk like that. You don't get to speak like that, right?
At least stand by it.
And keep it football. And keep it football, bro. Like say, look, he could have just said my boy like that. Cool. Nobody would have said anything about it. Also, Quandre Diggs and all of the other ones, they didn't say, I'm not going to dunk on them because they're actual NFL players who play in games and contribute. So he didn't like that. He deleted it. Everybody started going to him. So that's the story with that or whatever. But yeah, I wasn't going to let him talk to my dog like that or whatever. And it was pretty easy to push him around because it is true. Like when you Google him, he looks like one of those creator players, like from Madden. Like when you just like do the default player, he's just like that face. I was just like, oh, and he's never caught a pass. So I'm just like, bro, relax. And then somebody was like, it's weird that you're calling out somebody who plays in the league and you cover. I never wanted to play in the NFL. So cool flex. I don't really give it. I don't give a damn. Like, you know, the point still stands. Be quiet. Watch your mouth and don't make it personal. Keep it football. Because if we keep it football like I did, you're going to get embarrassed. You have 0 catches. So what do you do? Like, so that's where it went from with that. So,
Jay Guayo, we see your donation. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to get to it. My bad.
More important for us to run 30 times or pressure Dak with 3 to 5 sacks. Niners 28-27. Woo on the Green Bay. They don't even have to play Green Bay. Yeah, I think those would be equally as important. I think 5's a little high, but I mean, to me, it's not necessarily. I'm more of a pressures guy than a sacks guy. If you can keep the quarterback uncomfortable, I don't think it matters how many times you actually get to him. But yeah, I think those are equally important. I think those are both. And hey, it's not even guaranteed the Niners have to go to Green Bay. If the Eagles beat whoever they're playing, I've been so focused on the Niners. I don't even know the Eagles.
So how it goes is this, because the Packers are on a bye, right? They play the lowest remaining seed, which if I go by what I think is going to happen, I think the Bucs take care of the Eagles. I think that game's going to be a lot closer than people think. I'm actually going to take the Eagles spread because I think it's like 12, and I don't even think it's
that's an insane number.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that. But then and if the 49ers beat the Cowboys, then they are the lowest available seed, so they would go to Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
But if the 49ers win and the Eagles win, the Eagles go to play the Packers, and then the 49ers would move on to play whoever wins the Rams Seahawks game, I believe. So Rams Seahawks, I'm sorry, Rams Cardinals. So that's how it works. But if I like the Eagles. I think they've had a cool year, like especially how things started and first year coach made the playoffs, but I'm not betting against Brady. So
yeah, I think that would be the best outcome, because I think the most important thing the Green Bay Packers can do year in and year out is get home field advantage throughout. If the Niners can, obviously it's out of the Niners' control. It all comes down to what, the Eagles do against the Buccaneers. But if you could avoid going to Green Bay in January for as long as you can, that's probably the best thing for your team. And that's just what it is. The Packers are good. And when they go to Lambeau Field and Green Bay, it's going to be cold. It's going to be cold. So, yeah, I think the best thing for the Niners this weekend, obviously, is to win. But I think the second best thing would be for an Eagles win, because then maybe the Niners get to go to Los Angeles and, have another home game in the playoffs. I think that'd be cool.
But, all right, one more thing, because we see people in the comments, and we'll end the show on this. All Pro List came out today. Shout out to Trent Williams. Shout out to Deebo Samuel. Shout out. Max Crosby made it over Nick Bosa. What the hell is happening?
The hell's going on out there?
What the hell are they watching, man? Nick Bosa, more sacks, more pressures, more double teams. I don't get it. It's stupid.
Deebo got the recognition.
Oh yeah, but Deebo.
I was so happy about that. Deebo deserves it.
He's like
I'm curious to see how the MVP vote falls out. I saw somebody tweet that Rodgers won 55-22 or something, some random numbers like that over Brady. So Rodgers is probably going to win MVP. I'm curious to see if anybody shifts their votes to Deebo for MVP. That's all we want on the Sprint Red Option podcast is one first place vote for Deebo Samuel for MVP. So if you are a beat writer who wants to be loved by the Sprint Red Option podcast for the rest of your life, Deebo Samuel first place vote. That's all we need. We will shower you with love.
And look, to be fair, Max Crosby had a hell of a year. He had a great year. But come on, man. He's
good. He's very good.
Yeah. But Nick Bosa is just getting double teamed every single game, dude. Double and triple team. There's a what is it? There's a screenshot of a play where there's 3 guys just all around Bosa. They're all standing around him, and it's just
gravity.
Crazy, yeah.
Stephen Curry fans are used to seeing that type of gravity.
Yeah, but we did have to touch on that because that is awful. But hopefully Nick Bosa takes that personally and he takes it out on Dak Prescott this week. So
yeah, I don't know if I've said this before, Jason, but I'm very excited for this game, and I think it's going to be fun. Watch the Nickelodeon broadcast if you guys want, because I think that's the most fun way to watch it. I will be watching it on Nickelodeon. I'm very excited for the Nickelodeon broadcast. Remember to vote Jimmy G for MVP, the most important award there is in football history. Tom Brady hasn't won an MVP. Aaron Rodgers hasn't. Jimmy Garoppolo has the chance to be in a conversation they aren't in. Any final thoughts before we get out of here, Jason?
Nah, enjoy the week, guys. 49ers Cowboys is back. Relax a little bit. The game's not till Sunday. I understand nerves and anxiety, over the week. It's almost like, what do they call it? Sunday scaries before Monday, and you got to go back to work. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess tomorrow's going to be Saturday scaries because the game is Sunday. But enjoy your football tomorrow, and then Sunday is on. And we'll catch you guys back here for the post game. Hopefully celebrating what we predicted, a 49ers win, and talking about who the 49ers will be playing next week. So enjoy the week, enjoy the game, enjoy the trash talk. This is fun as hell. I love it. I love it. I'm missing this a lot. I'm missing the barbershop talk. I love it so much. It's so great. But 49ers Cowboys is back, and I'm super excited.
I'm very excited as well. Hopefully we're talking about a win next time we talk. Because if they don't win, we got to figure out things to talk about. But hey, that's not going to happen. They're going to win on Sunday. The Niners always win. They never lose. Jason Aponte, as always.
Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners.
And the Rams got work, Marketing Pro.
And the Rams lost. But hey, please keep watching Marketing Pro. We like
please.
we like everybody else. We love you guys.
Mwah. Welcome everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners.